Welcome back. Now we're going to deal with the Newton's second law of motion. The first important thing that you must be able to know, it is to be able to state the Newton's second law. And you must state it the way it is from the exam guideline. I said to you, each and every one of you must have a copy of exam guideline and use it as a checklist. So when you state Newton's second law of motion, it says when a net force acts on an object, the object will accelerate in the direction of the net force. This acceleration is directly proportional to the net force and inversely proportional to the mass of the object. Now, the second thing that you must take into consideration, you must be able to identify all the forces acting on an object. Whether you are being asked on an object to identify the forces or you are asked straight to the question to calculate something, these things, identifying the forces acting on an object, will help you to be able to answer each and every question that you are being asked, and also they will assist you with the net force. Remember, for Newton's second law of motion in grade 11, you were taught that F net is equals to ma. So this equation will be used for this topic. Anyway, if you are asked to calculate this, start with writing down this equation. What I'm sure of is that you will have 1 mark for just writing F net is equals to ma. It doesn't matter what you are required to calculate. Then, when we identify the forces, we will have different forces acting on an object. When you look at this one, we have a man pulling a block, and the force is exerted at an angle. The other one, we have a block that is on a slope, and the block, I don't know whether it is sliding or it is stationary, but you must be able to identify the forces acting on this block on a slope. Then the second one, it is a man pulling a block. Then you must also be able to identify the forces acting on the block and also the forces acting on the man, depending on what you are being asked. And also we have this block that is being pulled. Then if the block is pulled, you must also be able to identify the forces acting on that block. And also we have 2 blocks that have a string in between, and also there is a force that is pulling these 2 blocks. You must be able to identify the forces acting on 2 kg block and also the forces acting on 3 kg block. So in this case, we have a block that is moving downward, or that is being pulled downward or upward. I don't know in which direction is 1 kg moving. But for both of these blocks, you must be able to identify the forces acting on an object. Even on a slope, you will still find 2 blocks that are attached to each other with a string and that are being pulled. So you must also be able to identify the forces acting on this block and also the forces that are acting on that block. And then the next one, it is 2 blocks that are being in a pulley, that are being pulled in a pulley. Then you must also be able to identify the forces acting on that block. So which means you must go back to your grade 11 work and revise when the teacher was introducing the forces acting on an object and the type of forces that we will identify. Now, I have a question here that we will work on. The first question says, a truck A of mass 4,500 kilogram travels at a constant velocity of 50 kilometer per hour while towing bucky B of mass 1,250 kilogram. The engine of truck A produces a force of 11,270 newtons. The road surface exerts a friction force of 8,820 newtons on truck A. So here we are given the bucky and the truck. the mass of the bike is 1,250, and also the mass of the truck is 4,500. And also we are shown the direction of motion. Now, the first question will be write down the Newton's second law of motion in words. So with the help of your exam guideline and your textbooks, you will be able to state, because when I remember very well, you were even asked during the control test in March to write the Newton's second law in words. Then question number 2.1.2. Guys, always when you have the capitalized words, please pay attention to them, because they are the keys to your answer. Draw a free body diagram. Draw a free body diagram. We have two types of diagrams. We have a force diagram and also a free body diagram. So in this case, for you not to be penalized, you are asked to to draw a free body diagram showing all the forces acting on track A. The length of vectors should be an indication of their relative magnitudes. Now, let's move on. Let's draw the forces acting on the objects.